Cunningham is a surname of Scottish origin. See Clan Cunningham. Karen Cunningham, born 1986, American baseball player. Abe Cunningham, American drummer. Alan Cunningham, British Second World War general. Alexander Cunningham, 1814 to 1893, British archaeologist, father of the Archaeological Survey of India. Alexander Cunningham, 1st Earl of Glencairn, 1426 to 1488, a Scottish nobleman. Alexander Cunningham, 5th Earl of Glencairn, died 1574, a Scottish nobleman and Covenanter. Alfred Austell Cunningham, aviation pioneer. Alan Cunningham, disambiguation, or Alan Cunningham, several people. Andrew Cunningham, 1st Viscount Cunningham of Hindhope, British Second World War admiral. Andrew Cunningham, disambiguation, or Andy Cunningham, several people. Archibald Cunningham, 1879 to 1915, Scottish footballer. Bertram Cunningham, British Anglican priest and academic. Bill Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. Bill Cunningham, talk show host, American radio talk show host. Billy Cunningham, American basketball player and coach. Birgit Cunningham, Anglo-American activist. Bob Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. Briggs Cunningham, American racing driver and team owner, sports car designer and manufacturer. Brisson Cunningham, Scottish harbour engineer and author on dock and harbour engineering and operation. Cal Cunningham, born 1973, Democratic state senator in North Carolina. Charles Cunningham, disambiguation, several people, including Charles Cunningham, Royal Navy admiral. Charles Milton Cunningham, American newspaper editor and politician. Chris Cunningham, British director and video artist. Claire Cunningham, athlete, British athlete. Claire Cunningham, British choreographer. Colin Cunningham, swimmer, British swimmer. Daniel John Cunningham, Scottish anatomist. Darrell Cunningham, English cartoonist. David Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. David Lauren Cunningham, film producer. Dominic Cunningham, born 1995, British artistic gymnast. Ebenezer Cunningham, British mathematician. Edward Francis Cunningham, Scottish painter. Edwin Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. Elaine Cunningham, American fantasy and science fiction author. Elmer T. Cunningham, American entrepreneur and businessman, specializing in vacuum tubes and radio manufacturing. E.V. Cunningham, pseudonym of Howard Fast, an American writer. Francis Cunningham, painter. Gary Cunningham, born 1940-1941, American basketball coach and athletic director. Gina Cunningham, born 1955, American multidisciplinary artist. Glenn Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. Graham Cunningham, cricketer, Australian cricketer. Graham Cunningham, Scottish footballer, Scottish footballer. Harry Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. Hugh Cunningham, former British Army officer. Imogen Cunningham, 1883 to 1976, American photographer. J.V. Cunningham, American poet. Jack Cunningham, Baron Cunningham of Felling, born 1939, British politician. James Cunningham, disambiguation, several people, including James Cunningham, director, New Zealand film director. James Cunningham, 7th Earl of Glencairn, Scottish peer and member of the Privy Council of Scotland. James Cunningham, 14th Earl of Glencairn, Scottish nobleman. James Cunningham, Canadian politician, 1834 to 1925, former member of the Canadian House of Commons from British Columbia. James B. Cunningham, American diplomat, formerly the acting U.S. ambassador to the UN. James Cunningham, Australian politician, and President of the Senate. Jason D. Cunningham, U.S. Air Force pararescue medic. Jason Cunningham, English boxer. Gene Wooden Cunningham, American politician and lawyer. Jeff Cunningham, American Association football player. Jim Cunningham, politician, born 1941, Labour MP in the United Kingdom. Jim Cunningham, ice hockey, born 1956, ice hockey player in the National Hockey League. Jim Cunningham, American football, former NFL running back for the Washington Redskins. Jimmy Cunningham, former return specialist and wide receiver in the Canadian Football League and the XFL. John Cunningham, officer, Anglo-Irish soldier of the 17th century. John Cunningham, VC 1916, East Yorkshire Regiment. John Cunningham, VC 1917, Prince of Wales's Leinster Regiment. John Cunningham, RAF officer, RAF Night Fighter Ace, known as Cat's Eyes Cunningham. John Cunningham, Royal Navy officer, British Second World War Admiral, First Sea Lord. John W. Cunningham, author of Western novels and stories. Johnny Cunningham, 1957 to 2003, Scottish folk musician. Joseph Cunningham, disambiguation. Joe Cunningham, American politician, United States representative from South Carolina. K. Ron Cunningham, British rugby league player. Kenny Cunningham, Irish footballer. Corey Cunningham, American football player. Kristen Cunningham, American interior designer and television personality. Larry Cunningham, 1938 to 2012, Irish country music singer. Larry Cunningham, 1951 to 2019, American R&B singer, member of the vocal group The Floaters. Laurie Cunningham, English former footballer. Leland Cunningham, American astronomer and electronic computing authority. Liam Cunningham, an Irish actor. Lauren Cunningham, American-born mission statesman and founder of Youth with a Mission. Marta Cunningham, 1869 to 1937, American-born European-based soprano singer and philanthropist. Melvin Cunningham, born 1973, American football player. Merce Cunningham, 1919 to 2009, American choreographer. Michael Cunningham, award-winning American novelist, author of The Hours. Michael R. Cunningham, Chancellor National University System. Milton Joseph Cunningham, American politician. Myrna Cunningham, Mesquite feminist and indigenous rights activist from Nicaragua. Owen Cunningham, Australian rugby league footballer. Patrick Cunningham, 1878 to 1960, Irish politician. Paul Cunningham, disambiguation, several people. Phil Cunningham, folk musician, Scottish accordionist with the folk group Silly Wizard. Phil Cunningham, rock musician, English musician. Randall Duke Cunningham, U.S. representative from California. Randall Cunningham, American football player. Redmond Cunningham, Irish officer in the British Army. Richie Cunningham, American football, born 1970, American football place kicker. Robert Cunningham, disambiguation, any of several people. Ross Cunningham, Scottish footballer. Scott Cunningham, writer. Sean S. Cunningham, film producer and director. Seda Rick Cunningham, American football player. Sophie Cunningham, born 1963, Australian writer and editor. Sophie Cunningham, basketball, born 1996, American basketball player. Stacey Cunningham, 67th President of the New York Stock Exchange. Sumner Archibald Cunningham, 1843 to 1913, American Confederate veteran and newspaper editor. Tony Cunningham, footballer, Jamaican former footballer. Walter Cunningham, astronaut. Wade Cunningham, New Zealand racing driver. Ward Cunningham, founder of the first wiki. William Cunningham, disambiguation. W. Peyton Cunningham, American lawyer and state legislator. Zach Cunningham, born 1994, American football player. Max Cunningham, character from Hollyoaks. Howard Cunningham, character from Happy Days. Joni Cunningham, character from Happy Days. Marion Cunningham, character from Happy Days. Richie Cunningham, character from Happy Days. Tom Cunningham, character from Hollyoaks. The Cunningham Family in To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. M.R. and Alec Cunningham in the Sherlock Holmes story The Adventure of the Reigate Squire.